What's up, guys? This is Dog Jefferspin of the Jefferspin clan. Here I'm battling Gorilla Jefferspin. Uh, kind of lying to him about the type chart at first, and I was walling him with Umbreon. This was his first competitive battle, like ever, and he did all right, but he made a lot of mistakes that hopefully he can learn from. Revise the team a little bit. Here I got Toxic on his Tangrowth. He switches out into Gastrodon, and I didn't anticipate that, nor did I anticipate the switch back into Tangrowth. And this game would have to end eventually, but I managed to prolong it a little bit, just with some, bad guessing. But he switches into Absol, and that time I got him. And so he switches out for whatever reason back into Tangrowth. And I anticipated that, so I switched into Chandler. And the Leech Seed was a smart play. I liked that play. But then he switches into his Gligar. I was anticipating he switched into Gastrodon, but he might have known about the Energy Ball. And I like his Gligar here. He gets the Toxic, then he gets the Substitute, then the Roost. The Roost was a good play there, but for whatever reason he switches out into his Absol, and I switched into Chandler. I didn't really have anything there, so I went to Mew, and Mew pretty much just takes that Flamethrower like a pro, and the Focus Blast is enough to finish off Super Doge. So Linguini is back in now, and he gets me with the Dynamic Punch. So Mew is confused for a few turns. You can see in the chat, I'm like, Mew, snap out of it. What the heck are you doing? But, Mew doesn't respond to that, but he still manages to not hurt himself. But here you can see he's trying to wear Mew down, but Mew just kind of keeps roosting, and he's trying maybe to get a crit, trying hope to maybe get Mew to hurt itself in confusion, but that does not happen, and he ends on close combat for whatever reason. I guess just maybe thinking maybe the stab will counteract the resistance, but no, not really. The Focus Blast hits on Pro Lawn Care, and the Leech Seed is kind of sapping Mew to death. Focus miss. He tries. He was hoping maybe the Sleep Powder would, um, you know, replace the burn, but that's not how it works. So here I'm recovering, and I go for the Focus Blast, and Mew's about to die pretty much. This Earthquake with the Poison and the Leech Seed is enough to do Mew in, and I send out Honchkrow. I set up a Toxic, and that's really the only play I had for Honchkrow. But that Gligar was going to be a threat if I didn't do anything about that. So I got Fortress in. Fortress is burned immediately by the Scout, but I set up Stealth Rock just in time. And I'm trying to, make the most of Fortress before he has before he gets knocked out, but he won't because I switch out, and I don't know. I consider Fortress pretty dispensable in most battles, despite how useful he is. I switch into Crit Draw, the King Draw with the Focus Energy and Razor Claw, and Crit Draw pretty much sweeps his whole team here. Draco Meteor, Ice Beam on the Gligar. He endures the Earthquake. Probably could have dispensed EVs better there. The Earthquake might have done more, but the Waterfall is enough to finish off Chandler. So yeah, he needs a little bit of work, but or a lot of work actually, but uh, he'll catch on to some of these tricks. Here you see I'm experimenting with Linoon, and I anticipated that switch because he really had nowhere to go with Seismitoad. And before Typhlosion can get up Eruption, I go for Extreme Speed, knock out two guys immediately, he forfeits. And that's what Linoon does. Scares people into forfeiting. So here I did not get the chance to capitalize on Linoon because of the spin day. But that's alright. He hypnotizes me, thrashes. I'm kind of hoping Linoon will wake up the next turn, but it doesn't happen. So Malamar will have to finish off this pretty much. I think it's completely all normal team. I can't really see on the left. So I like what he did with his Perugly here, with the fake out and then Last Resort being the only other move, but it's not really enough. Malamar takes care of Perugly. And pretty much the rest of his team. Furfur's kind of worthless. Again, taken out. Miltank's a good play, but I mean, I have my own Miltank, so I would know. But still, Malamar's become too overpowered by this point. And Eradicate protects to delay so he can get the Toxic Orb. And the Facade, but still not enough to kill Malamar. And the only other thing he has left is Zangoose, which almost gets me, but then I'm paralyzed, so he does get me the second time around. I don't know why he close combats there, but here close combat does become a threat, and Lapras, I gave Perish Song, so there's no viable way to win this battle. But yeah, Miltank protects, and I switch into Pyroar for absolutely no reason. But I could have attempted to protect, but doesn't matter. Still got the win. Okay, so this Glaceon gives me a lot of trouble in this battle. I use Shell Smash with the white herb on my Huntail, and so it almost gets me right away with the Shadow Ball, and then switches out. But I get the Aqua Tail on Dusknoir, and then a Crunch. I don't know what he was anticipating with Glaceon that I could have knocked it out with, but oh well. So he switches out of his Linoon. And so here I'm just kind of going back and forth. He gets my Licky Licky. Yeah, I realized after that battle, yeah, that thing does not work that well. But Typhlosion's in. I'm using Eruption now. Just trying to get the most that I can out of it, but I switch out to Miltank. This Wish is going to give me some trouble, so I Toxic it. And Toxic Reflect goes up, so I'm going with Seismic Toss and Toxic on that thing. Poliwrath, that's what it's called. It took me a couple seconds. But Miltank's walling the Poliwrath down. I switch out, anticipating the Brick Break. Sigilyph, I anticipate a switch. I didn't really know what to do, so I just kind of used Psychic for stab, and there wasn't really anything that it wouldn't have worked on that well. But the Psychic finishes off Magmortar. And now Linoon, I know what's coming, so I send in Carbink. And there's really nothing this Linoon can do about Carbink. Its defenses are just too good. Extreme Speed, yeah, try everything. I mean, Carbink is not going anywhere. It almost is, but not quite. So he switches into Glaceon, which finishes off Carbink, but got good use out of that. Milk Drink with Miltank, but it gets immediately knocked out. So here Typhlosion is going to finish off this battle. First with 1 Eruption, 2 Eruption, probably 3 Eruption, definitely 3 Eruption, yep. And then I got a critical hit. I don't know if that would have finished off that Poliwrath without it, but I got lucky there. I was going to use Hidden Power Grass anyway. He probably didn't see that coming either, but you know, Eruption finishes off his team. Alright, so moving on to the next battle. I'll eventually figure out this tab. Okay. So he starts out with a Lopunny that uses Switcheroo. Doesn't really affect me too much. I use Psychic on his Lopunny. He's setting up Cosmic Power. Before he can really do anything though, I kind of get the better of him. It uses Baton Pass to Flareon. I know what's coming with this Flareon, but I decide to get as much damage on it as possible. It uses Facade, knocks out Sigilyph. I'm okay with that. He didn't think that I could knock it out with Miltank, but Seismic Toss gets the job done. And here you see Swalot's going to use Stockpile. I knew that was coming, so I just kept Seismic Tossing. It's not going to make a difference. Keep stockpiling. It's really not going to make any difference. He's going to use some attacks now, finally. Giga Drain, trying to be that wall that also drains health, but it's not going to work. He uses Belch. I don't even know what that is, but he tries to counteract the constant seismic tosses. I figured something was going to happen, so I just used Milk Drink or whatever. Yeah, there you go. But so I got Toxic on the Golurk, and now I'm gonna wall it to death, pretty much, or if not to death, to a point where it's almost dead, or just to the point where he switches out. Whatever happens first. I use Protect here, he switches out. I guess it's a smart play. I used he uses Encore, and I was forced to use Protect. So I switch out to Huntail, and it sets up Cosmic Power twice. I set up Shell Smash with the White Herb, and that wasn't quite enough to take out Lopunny, but he realizes here it's enough to take out every other Pokemon on his team, so he forfeits. It was apparently a misclick, but he was probably trying to get me locked into using the Shell Smash. Alright, so here I scare him out with Cloyster. That happens a lot. But I set up Shell Smash. He doesn't really realize that my Cloyster is a lot better than his. So, Rock Blast, haha. Unless we had the same thing, in which case, oh well, still got the better of him. So I scared him, and he forfeits immediately. So here we got Snorlax versus Porygon 2. I send in Mew, and Mew gets pretty much messed up. I was a little upset that I did not get to use Mew at all in this battle. I was probably about to forfeit at this point, but I didn't, so I was kind of hoping Mew would thaw out. Didn't happen. Tri Attack finishes off Mew. At least I got to wall him down a little bit. Switch to Mega Alakazam. Focus Blast should do it. And obviously Gudra, high special defense. And Umbreon should be easily able to counter that. I used Toxic on his Xiaomane. And I set up the Protect because I know it's coming. The high jump kick and all the recoil damage that follows. I switched to Alakazam hoping to get some resistance, but it still does a lot of damage. And I'm still faster than it, in Mega form at least. Then I use Recover, and then I realize, okay, Goodra's got me in a situation where I cannot get out of. So I at least decide get some damage on it, and I switch to Milotic, who gets some more damage on it with Ice Beam, but still I only get that much out of it. And Milotic is down. Again, I'm thinking here, holy crap, this is not going well. Earthquake from Snorlax. I got a little lucky with some of Snorlax's earthquakes, but Snorlax did really well in this battle. So he's trying to Drain Punch me. I get the crit with the earthquake. I was gonna rest anyway, but yeah. So he tries to Toxic Snorlax, doesn't know about immunity. I'm gonna use Crunch again, hopefully finish this thing off. And I get the crit, so that's lucky. Here he just realizes Ampharos, yes, Snorlax has Earthquake. Alright, so here is just another scare with Cloyster. I thought he was going to switch, he didn't. So I get the Icicle Spear on his Torterra, and yeah, he forfeits. The word of the day is Cloyster. But here you can see, again, I get the Shell Smash. I was anticipating a switch again, but the switch still didn't come. So, oh, actually it did. Okay. Well, it did the second time. Yeah, second turn. But he switched to Milotic, and I got some good damage on Milotic before it Dragon Tailed me out of the battle. And by that I mean just out of, like, active battle. So Mew gets dragged out. I'm okay with this. Stone Edge hits, but it doesn't do enough. Milotic uses Recover. I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get out of this? I Toxic it. Use Scald. I think Mew gets burned on the second Scald. After the Stone Edge misses. So here I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to end up forfeiting this. So Mew's not going to survive for too long, but luckily I got Dragon Tailed out of that for whatever reason. So Snorlax is in, Aerodactyl comes out, maximize Snorlax's attack, and go to work after that Stone Edge luckily misses. Second Stone Edge hits, but Aerodactyl is pretty much done for. And now it's Nidoking, uses Sludge Wave that gets the better of Snorlax. But here you see Alakazam goes Mega and just pretty much takes out his whole team. At this point, I've got Energy Ball, switches into a Starmie. Again, Energy Ball. He might have been trying to outspeed me there. Now he's just, I guess admitting that he can't. Sends him a champ. Typhlosion would have been a better play to start with, but he didn't get the chance to, I guess, and as such, I finished off his team. So here's the last battle, I think, UU really. And all his Pokemon are named UU really? I get the Shell Smash on Blissey, and here's where I prove, yes, UU really. I mean, obviously, Blissey belongs in a higher tier. Mega Alakazam, how is that UU? I don't know. But I anticipate the soft boiled here, and fortunately for me, his HP was still low enough that I could one hit his Blissey, And this is where Cloyster again scares everyone out. Um, Icicle Spear gets Alakazam, and here you can see if this happens, is on the verge of forfeiting. So Icicle Spear, yep, that's skill link, so it's gonna. The word of the day is Cloyster. He sends out Florges and forfeits for, just can't. But thank you guys for watching. This has been Dog Jefferspin of the Jefferspin clan. Dolphin and Gorilla Jefferspin are our only current recruits. But we're planning to get more. I'm planning to do some LPs and planning to, try and find some good competitive battling styles. If you have any comments, leave them below. Thanks.